Conference of Gapam. And particularly, I appreciate the opportunity offered me to share my views on the theme, leadership, technology, and innovation in public service management. I thank the executives of Gapam and the planning committee for making me part of this historical event. Madam Chair, as I thought through the theme and attempted to contextualize the ideas embedded in them within the context of Ghana, one key question arose. Why should leadership, technology, and innovation be an issue for Gapam? Thus, all-embracing question is what has informed the development of this exposition. What I seek to do in my presentation, therefore, is to provoke a debate on the type of leadership necessary for promoting quality public service management through technology and innovation in Ghana. Prior to addressing the key issues embedded in the theme, Madam Chair, permit me to put the phenomenon public service into perspective. I always want to do this because of an experience I had when, as a Ghanaian, in the poor village of Agnasafo, who patronized chop bars, I had the opportunity of traveling to Cambridge for a program, and after checking into my hall, I went to the Potter's Lodge. I was hungry, and then asked the porter, please, can you direct me to a chop bar? And the man looked at my face with surprise. So he asked, George, what do you want as a chop bar? Chop bar? Yes. What exactly do you want? Then I said, I want a place where I can eat. He said, a restaurant. I said, no, a chop bar. Because in Ghana, those who patronize chop bar, you have a choice of deciding what you want. But I only to know that in that context, chop bar meant a different thing total. So I want to be sure that the public service context is what we are addressing. So I try to look at the two terms, public and service. And I note public connotes something that belongs to the generality of people. It is something that is open, communal, unrestricted, and easily accessed. Service, on the other hand, implies the provision of needs. In this context, public service could be conceptualized as an indispensable system through which government responsibilities to the citizenry, such as education, health, security, justice, agriculture, electricity, water, housing, and others, are carried out effectively and efficiently. Indeed, public service is globally recognized as the live wire of governance. In other words, there can never be good governance in our nation without committed and efficient public servants. Madam Chairman, responsibilities of the 21st public service have become very complex. Central to this complexity are tasks associated with technology advancement, which requires that public servants demonstrate competence in information and communication technology. Knowledge explosion, which requires that public servants become abreast with contemporary issues relating to their jobs. Competitive operational environment, which calls for evidence-based, strategic, innovative, and public relations skills. Increasing stakeholder interest in institutional operations, which makes the public servant more accountable to both internal and external interest groups in matters of finance, procurement, recruitment, work time utilization, logistics management, etc., and litigation, which requires public servants to be legally educated. And finally, political polarization, which requires public servants to internalize the public interest principles underlying public service operations. It is against these complex demands that public service management becomes crucial. For public servants to provide quality services that will meet the complex needs of stakeholders, managers of public services such as the health service, the education service, the judicial service, and others need to develop their competencies to make public service delivery a quality in terms of meeting needs of interest groups. Indeed, research is replete with evidence that suggests strongly that leadership is a critical tool for accomplishing individual and organizational effectiveness and innovation. The public service manager is therefore required to provide leadership that will improve the quality and efficiency of services delivered by public institutions. Leadership is also a key factor that affects successful implementation of public service management systems. Through leadership, public service managers are more able to create working environments that promote innovative behavior in employees. Innovative behavior is developed in public servants when leaders create an environment that makes each member of the public institution feel he or she belongs. It is important, therefore, that leaders of public institutions create a non-threatening and non-discriminatory working environment for public servants to ensure that team spirit is built for the implementation of government policies in the interest of the public. Mr. Chairman, in response, first, to the Millennium Development Goals, and second, to the Sustainable Development Goals, which fundamentally seek to make life meaningful to everybody, irrespective of age, gender, economic status, or geographical location, as contained in the United Nations 2030 Agenda. Successive governments have put in place a number of policies aimed at meeting the socioeconomic needs of citizens. Many innovations have and are being introduced in the public sector organizational structure, practices, capacities, human resource mobilization, deployment, and utilization, as well as the material, information, technological, and financial resources. It is important that managers of public services understand and internalize principles underlying these innovations, ask the necessary implementation-related questions, provide objective, workable advice on implementation strategies, and ensure that such policies are implemented efficiently towards achieving the public interest goals underlying the innovations. Providing good policy implementation advice and efficiently supporting governments in delivering good services to the public, it is important that managers and administrators become acquainted with modern technology. With the support of technology, the bottlenecks associated with bureaucratic structures that tend to unnecessarily delay decisions and frustrate policy implementation could be minimized. Managers must be able to use technology to manage information, to facilitate process of planning and implementing policies. Using technological systems like management information systems, for example, can make the execution of strategic decisions and actions for service delivery very easy for the manager. Efficient use of technology provides the manager the skills of offering good advice on public service delivery. It is important that stakeholders invest in managers' skill development in technology because it is a tool for ensuring good public service management. Let us all remember that good governance depends on good public service that provides full, frank, and good advice for policy. Mr. Chairman, I believe that it is in recognition of the pivotal role played by public servants that our nation's constitution protects the public service from unnecessary interferences in the course of delivering service in the interest of the people. Article 191, for example, stipulates clearly that a member of the public services shall not be victimized or discriminated against for having discharged his duties. This I'm quoting directly, so no gender person should blame me. The word there is his. If I were doing it, I would have said his or her. Said his duties faithfully in accordance with this constitution, or be dismissed or removed from office, or reduced in rank or otherwise punished without just cause. This constitutional provision is to encourage leadership of public services to work in the broad interest of the public, irrespective of ethnic, religious, gender, or political differences. In this sense, public servants are obliged by the Constitution to be faithful, place the public interest first, and demonstrate loyalty in implementing policies of the government of the day, irrespective of which political party is in power. It is important that public service managers and administrators internalize the fact that their leadership is not political leadership. Therefore, leadership decisions regarding implementing government policies should not be driven by political interest, but rather public interest. Institutional level decisions regarding support for employee innovative ideas, training in new technologies, recruitment, promotions, transfers, etc., should be driven by the lens of institutional rules and regulations, conditions of service, and code of conduct, rather than political, ethnic, gender, or religious lens. Permit me to make a passionate appeal to all stakeholders to protect our public service. We need to make our public institutions more accountable, responsive, and effective by promoting a more public interest-oriented public managerial management and administration. This is because sustaining our development agenda as a nation will be stifled if we weaken or kill our public service institutions. Nana Chair, the extent to which people's orientation, particularly those in public service leadership positions, and commitment towards partisan issues are fast undermining the principles underlying public service management and administration, to me is worrying. Extreme political party polarization is fast sinking our public service. What is more threatening is the politics indexed heads must role orientation, that continues to characterize our civil and public institutions whenever there is a change of government. If, as a nation, we really value the public services by ensuring that we do not politicize public service operations, we should guard against a situation where political activists tend to micromanage public service institutions in matters of recruitment, promotions, transfers, dismissals, etc. It is only when we protect our public services and support leadership of public service institutions to adopt an apolitical approach in managing and administering public service deliveries that the public can maximize the benefits associated with technologies and innovations that public service management would initiate. On this note, Madam Chair, I congratulate Gapam and wish participants a successful conference deliberation. Long live Gapam, long live public services in Ghana, long live Ghana. Thank you.